I have seen the other side of you. That's right, it's time for Dark Matter. Here on AfterBuzz, we are talking Season 2, Episode 3. We've got so much to talk about. Stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello and welcome to the AfterBuzz After Show for Dark Matter. That's right, it's time for Dark Matter. If you have not already, go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Hit subscribe. We're also on iTunes and SoundCloud. Subscribe there as well. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. You can tweet at me at Yael Tygiel. That's YaelTygiel. I am joined by my lovely panel. My crew is here. The crew of the AfterBuzz. Yep. We have Andrew Mena joining us. Andrew, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yay.
You can also tweet at me at Andrew Mena, ANDREWMENA.
Yeah, he knows how to spell.
I did. That's first step over.
Awesome.
Ooh.
And Tauri J.
Hey, I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Tauri J, TauriJay.
Wow.
I'm also on the chat, baby.
Yeah, live in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we are talking about I've seen the other side of you. Overall thoughts of the episode. Tari.
Oh.
Mixing it up.
What a jerk. I liked it. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
I thought that it was really interesting getting to see the other members because we've only seen them as forgotten people.
Right.
So it was really nice seeing them as what they were like as a crew before we ever got a chance to see them.
All right, Andrew.
I totally agree. I loved seeing the other version of them. I was less of a fan of seeing that side of them just because they're wild jerks, but spoilers. But I really, really enjoyed it. I thought there was a really cool tone, and I really love more Five stuff. I just love Five. I think she's so smart and interesting, and there's so much more to her part in all of this.
Yes.
Mysteries involving Five. So we're going to talk more about that in a minute, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you guys. I don't like the old versions of them. I couldn't watch it. I was like, you're such a jerk.
They're so mean.
They're so mean.
I will say,
yes,
just really quickly, I will say I really liked how comfortable they all felt with each other, mostly because when we see them now, all they're like versions of them that we see, the numbered versions, they're all really hesitant around each other because they don't really know each other.
Yeah.
But when they got into old style, they were real comfortable, laid back. You could tell they had all these sweet inside jokes. They were a crew. #squad, baby.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree there because there was that scene where 4 and 3 are talking.
You're welcome to the difficulty.
I know the numbers. So 3 and 4 are talking, and it's right after 5 is revealed that Sarah has died.
Yeah.
So 3. I know it's gonna happen. 3 is being uncharacteristically emotional and sentimental.
Yeah.
And 4 is like, hey, it's weird, man. That's not cool. And you're just like, whoa. And then he shuts down. He's like, this is the last time you're ever gonna see it. So there's a sense of no, they were not real with each other. Maybe they worked together, especially in a weird Assassin's way.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they were close.
Ooh.
I think that the numbered team is the most real version of themselves.
Interesting.
So, throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there.
Oh.
I respect your respectful disagreement.
I like it. I agree with it. Oh man, Tari, you're losing.
I'll see myself out.
Yeah, please.
No.
I was much more focused on. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I'm real aware of the timeline here, and I'm trying to take notes of it. And I am presenting this to the fans who pay better attention or are better at numbers than me. So this neural imprint that we have is from 14 months ago. They uploaded it 14 months ago. Now we know that Moss has been missing for 10 months. So that means 4 months after they uploaded this, he may or may not have joined their ship, but we know that he disappeared then, which is when he probably got Jace's face.
Right.
Yes.
I was just going to say, we know that that's when he was reported missing. We definitely know he's from money, so that there definitely could be... I feel like he could have bought his way into some time...
All right.
Just throwing that.
Right.
Just
way to throw a wrench into my timeline.
Just wiggle room.
Okay.
Just wiggle room.
So we also know that 6 was put undercover 3 months ago. right? And 2 months after that, nope, 1 month after that.
I think 2 months after that.
2 months after that, they
5
lost
joined.
their memory.
Oh,
5 joined.
5 joined, and then they lost their memory. Yes.
Guys, somebody make a timeline, please. I can't. I can't do this.
Some sort of timeline
Yes. You
image.
need a flow chart, guys.
You think I'm kidding, but I really do.
A Venn diagram, anything.
I just need a visual. I'm dying here.
Some sort of aid.
But yeah, let's talk about 3 and Sarah for a second, because we, I kind of remember that was a thing last season, but as soon as he was like, I need to go to the vault, I went, oh yeah, that was a thing.
Sarah,
Yeah.
I know.
I didn't like that. I don't like Boone having a softer side, because Boone is the a-hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boone is the jerk, and I don't want to see him as a person.
But he got to stretch his acting muscles, for one. And two,
Yes.
when that episode happened last season, I felt bad, mostly for Sarah and for 3, because he didn't know how to grieve because he didn't know her.
Right.
And she didn't have the person who she loved to grieve for her. And, so I felt like this was very appropriate in that he got to, feel those emotions, even if it was temporary. And, she was finally put to rest in that moment.
Fine.
No, I totally agree.
I'll allow
It was satisfyingly not satisfying. While we don't really get that the real grieving process, he gets that moment of I was gonna give her this necklace that I found of hers, when she got better, and she never got better. I was trying to be good. He's trying, and I think that's important too, that he has this moment of I was trying to be good, while he's this new version or old version of himself.
Well, he's the bad version.
Yeah.
And he's like, I made a step and I failed, and it's just it's pretty and sad. It's ironic. It's so satisfyingly unsatisfying.
Fine.
Aylin Mendoza from the chat says, someone tell 3 it's okay to show his feelings.
Right?
No, it's not. It's not okay.
Hashtag 2016 man. You can do it, buddy.
They're in the future.
Oh, that's true. Hashtag
2116 man.
That's right.
All right. So we also get the return of what I like to call evil android. You call red android.
Yes. Android Red, if you will.
Okay. I will not.
All the different names. Randroid.
I like Hollow Robobot. Something. Holobot.
Holobot.
There we go.
I'll take it.
Or Reddy. Red and Droid. Roidy. Reddy.
Okay. So,
Just this motion is what I was doing.
all right. So we lose, girls. We lose Anne, the android, who goes under maintenance, I guess. And we bring back evil android. I like that we address that she has no memory of what happened last time. I also like seeing her interact with 5. She was a B with a capital B. She was so rude.
She's very rude.
She's the rudest.
I think it's so interesting too that there's this sense of evil robot and rudeness, when really what she says she is just a creature of logic. All she is supposed to be the most logical version. So we hate logic. When there's a natural inclination to be
Right. You're in a difficult situation. Real helpful,
we know.
red android.
Yeah. I mean,
she
come
does that a
on.
lot. States the opposite. I was going to say there for her bemoaning the real physical android's weirdness, and anomaly. I think it's weird that she takes this kind of weird pleasure in being it's weird that you don't know what to do. It's just kind of
Yes. That seems to be a
Humans.
flaw.
Yeah,
That's a flaw, red android.
A little bit.
No,
Little
superiority
anti-human
is
prejudice.
programmed into it. Just so everyone knows she's an android and she's one day going to murder everyone.
Yeah, I think maybe in there she's just fact can crush human skull.
Yeah.
Just
Why not?
It's not up for debate. It just can't happen.
Emotions are inherently flawed, so this android is unflawed, right?
No, because she has arrogance. She has arrogance.
Yeah.
She's also flawed.
Yes. She has this pettiness to her that
Yeah.
I feel
Yes.
this underlying
Right.
robot pettiness.
I think that we've discovered that means that Anne doesn't have any flaws at all, because Anne felt jealousy. And what did you call the random one, the evil android?
Ready?
Ready.
Yeah,
Ready.
Ready and
Okay.
Roidy.
Okay, so no, it's Anne and Ready. I'll take Ready, but it's Anne.
Roidy.
Okay. Shut up.
What is wrong with you?
So, what was her name? Red Android.
Ready?
Ready.
Yeah, Ready.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Ready has pettiness, and Anne has jealousy. And being petty and jealous are very similar emotions. They're
Yeah.
both flawed and/or perfect. I like that.
Do you think
Yeah.
they kind of like complete each other? They're basically the yin yang kind
Well,
of thing?
everyone knows that I ship the android with everyone.
Oh, okay. Well,
So I would absolutely ship the android with,
With
the
herself?
android. Why not?
the
Especially if
best
we
love
bring
story.
back Wendy, Ruby Rose's android.
yeah, definitely have to bring back Wendy.
Oh yeah. Wait, sorry. Now I'm picturing that. Okay.
Get it together.
Like,
I
what
can't.
did they do with her head when they were? Anyway,
It's in Three's room.
is it?
I believe it. Speaking of what's in Three's room,
trophy.
it's
I don't
like
wanna
an
know that.
it's an
Trophy.
armory.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nyx finds out that it's an armory.
Yes.
Let's talk about our.
Promptly steals everything.
Yeah, well, they're criminals. Let's talk about Eric's and Devin and Nyx, who we all know I don't trust them.
And we don't know them at all.
So they're all butthurt that they're not being trusted.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
Except for Devin, who. Okay, so I don't trust Devin, but I have a feeling it's going to turn out that, like, Devin, like, stole food to feed his family, right? Like, that's his crime.
He seems like that kind of guy.
Or because he's a doctor, well, he's medical training.
Medically trained. Yeah.
That he accidental death during surgery and, like, whatever.
It's complicated. He like accidentally wasn't part of like a politician's son
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Crooked politician.
I
Put him in
still
there.
don't trust him.
Yeah.
And I extra don't trust Nyx this episode, right? So when we're trying to find two, and we're 5 and Nyx are like, I'm gonna go look for it, and then Nyx disappears for most of the rest of the episode and comes back with 3's guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they round up everyone else on the ship, but they can't find Nyx. Like they're
didn't even
looking,
know to find
they're
her.
looking hard for 5, and they don't find Nyx. Like Nyx is a ninja. Nyx is gonna reveal that she is secretly like the main bad dude. Like, hey, what's up, guys? This turns out like I'm the baddest now. Like I'm the new number 2.
I'd like to imagine that it's actually that she was just dieharding. So she's like in the grates and she's everywhere else. She's like, I'm gonna get these guys.
You mean where 5 was trying to hide?
Right?
Yeah.
If she would have rounded that corner.
Yeah. I want to say that I think there were a lot of questions when the episode started. A lot of people were suggesting that when we see the old versions of them, we would see that Bubba wasn't Bubba, or that there were different things. I would have liked to see that 2 wasn't the boss, because that would have been so fascinating to see.
Yeah.
Different dynamic for the leadership. Yeah.
Especially because 2 is so in charge and bossy, and like rightfully so. It would have been
Right.
really interesting to see her have to take orders.
Right.
And I also really like the idea that the guns weren't named the same names. Like I would have liked to see them, like everything we thought we knew was different.
He knew
Yeah.
he had to name the gun, but he didn't know
Right,
exactly
like-
what.
Like
yeah.
it used to be Gertrude and now
Right.
it's Bubba. I think
Yeah.
that would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of guns and people who use them,
Yes.
I found it really interesting that old Rio was all about guns, whereas like our Rio, our 4
Uses swords.
only uses swords
He's a sword guy.
exclusively.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and Rio smiles so much.
Yeah. Rio smiles. 4 doesn't.
Yeah, not at all.
It's interesting. He always smiles sarcastically, though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always a very rude smile.
Oh yeah. They're
It's like
criminals.
like a very like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Very dismissive.
Yeah.
While we're still talking about guns really quickly, I just
Yes.
wanted to point out that the first thing that new version Portia, I guess we're calling this person, the first thing she says to 5 is, I'm going to blow your head off. Like, what? She's a little girl. Like, these are really bad people. Like, I'm just wanted to illustrate with a point that, what? This is crazy.
Oh yeah. No, it's crazy to see them be like, we're gonna kill her, especially because when you remember the like flashback of how 5 was treated when she was found, was that 3 wanted to just ship her out into the air.
Yeah,
He just wanted to
just
send her
space
out.
Yeah.
So to see Portia do that,
Miss Lynn, you
Terrible
can call
name.
her.
No.
Portia Lynn. Sounds very pornographic.
Old too.
Doesn't it? Portia Lynn.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Now that I'm picturing it. All right. Nyx.
Yes.
Anyway, so the fight between Tu and Eric's, well, Portia, I guess, when she wakes up and finds Eric's, that fight was amazing, and I was really concerned that he was going to be better than her.
Really?
Yeah, because
I was concerned she was going to murder him, like straight up rip his arm off or something.
I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
Especially when we found out what we found out, that
I mean-
he is the mole. He is Afa's asset.
That Kevin Costner looking some bitch.
Dun, dun, dun.
He looks like Kevin Costner.
It's true.
Okay. Disagree.
Internet, put a picture of Kevin Costner
Okay.
next to him.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to make sure we don't forget anything. Yeah. So Eric's is Afa's asset. Afa still doesn't have a name on this show. For those who are wondering, I refer to her as Afa because that was her name on Lost Girl. She was also on Orphan Black. And we don't find anything else about that other than that he's the asset. Good job.
So we're led to believe
What do you mean?
he is an asset. We don't know if he's the asset.
You think that they're all her assets?
Who knows?
I'm trying to ask what you think.
I think that he is a spy, yes. I don't know if he's necessarily the asset that Afa was referring to. I still think it's 5 because 5 seems to be more than meets the eye.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Though I think that there's something definitely to this episode's kind of treatment of 2 in that she's, I mean, I don't know if the internet watched Zoids, but she's basically an organoid for the ship where, and I'll explain what that means, is that she's linked with her neural link with the ship.
Yes.
Works, right? At one point, 4 and 3 both say, "Oh yeah, no neural link. We don't have neural links.
Right.
Like even though we got that headache and passed out, we don't have them.
Right.
So her neural link not only works, but she mentioned she's like an extension of the ship. She talks about it very sexually also, which is really...
Girl, you think I didn't notice?
I know you noticed. I wanted to bring this up because it's crazy. She's basically like one with the ship, and it's like a very sexual experience for her. It's very empowering. And I think...
So bring this back to your children's show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the children's show, it's basically the same thing. It's very, very sexual. No, there's no sexuality in the children's show, but it's basically the same thing where a robot jumps into a larger ship to pilot it more effectively because you have more control if you're...
Inside?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jonathan Ma really enjoyed your reference, by the way, Andrew.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Chaotic Century, if we remember.
Yes,
There
very
were 2
much so.
different... So it's...
Okay.
Anyway.
There were like 3.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I missed one.
All right, so here's the...
Nerds.
But yeah, I agree. Like, 5 definitely feels like she has the ability to connect with the ship that, like, no one else can.
Right.
2.
Even more... What? No.
2.
No.
Are we... Okay, you're talking about 5.
I'm talking about 5.
Okay, sorry.
In that 2, yes, was able to connect with the ship, and she has that ability because she's part android.
Right.
But 5 was also able to overtake her, and so I feel like it's as if her Zeke.
Her Zeke.
Her Zeke
The
powers
organoid.
are better. Yes.
Yes.
Her Zeke is better. Her organoid powers
Right.
are stronger. Or she has something more latent. Like she's gonna end up being something like a technopath or something to that effect. In that.
Oh, yes.
I mean, she does. There are a lot of references where she just says like, "Oh, I just kind of understand machines." It's like I have no formal training. Like she doesn't,
I like
maybe
the
she
idea
is a
of her being a
technopath.
technopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Calling it now, you guys.
Good predictions. We're not even there yet.
I know, but
All right, before we talk about the 5 versus 2 battle, I want to take a moment to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone who's live in the chat. We appreciate it. Tari is keeping an eye on you and sharing your thoughts. We also ask you to do a very simple thing. Go to iTunes. That way you subscribe. Don't miss a single episode. You will not miss not a one. And if you write a review, we will read it live on the air. So if you like us, give us a 5-star rating. If you don't like us, you can give us a 4-star rating. The other stars, they do not work. Yeah. And you can bang on your keyboard, write something out, and we'll read it live on the air in a sexy Tauri voice or a fun Tauri voice, depending on how he feels.
Who knows?
We have a lot of reviews.
We have a good amount, yes.
Oh, wow.
Forgive me if I don't get through, like,
Yeah, you
your
guys
full
wrote
review.
a lot.
Yeah.
Just
These
don't
are-
skip the parts where they say they like me.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry, none of those say that.
Okay.
No. Thank you guys, first off, for writing these. You went in so much depth, and you showed so much love, and we really appreciate it. So I'll start from the beginning, from the bottom.
From the begotten. The begotten being an old dark matters term
Yes.
for
Yes.
the beginning.
Girl, the begotten.
So,
Begotten.
likable hosts, great show, 5 stars from the Inquisitor Crystal. It says, Dark Matter and Killjoys are my 2 favorite shows. Just found out it had an AFTERBUZZ. The hosts are cute. Aww. Looking forward to checking out the rest of the episodes.
Yay.
Yeah. Let's see. Next one. You're right. The other buttons do not work. By
that's so sweet.
ECFRMDC. They say, I was one of the people asking for AFTERBUZZ TV Dark Matter After Show. So, I'm very excited for Tauri's sexy review voice and for Yael's not so subtle kink. Winky face
I'm
emoticon.
so subtle.
Not so subtle.
Yeah, they call you Yael Subtle Tygiel.
That's true. I am Yael Tygiel.
Great recaps. Can't wait for more in-depth review of characters and the show. I can't wait for Librarians to return along with your recap.
Yay!
Boom!
Librarians.
What else? Great! 5 stars by Bad Wolf 09. Thanks for the after show. Thanks for watching SyFy.
Yay, SyFy!
Hooray! One more. Dark Matter teaches us forced mind wipes are good by Lanavis. 5 stars.
Lanavis, yay!
Woo! In spite of each of their tragic backstories, the Raza really are horrible people before the mind wipe, which basically killed them via creating new people, barely similar backstories, etc. Yep.
Yay!
Yay!
I also have a, because I missed it on Killjoys, and if Lanavis is on this show as well, Lanavis gave a Killjoys iTunes review. I'm going to read it here.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
And it says, short version is Alvis in Dutch, yes, phallic mossopeds, no! Yep, that should make you want to watch Killjoys.
That's enough.
Yeah, because they were not phallic mossopeds, they were angry vaginas. So, that's a quote from the show. Okay, let's get back to 5 versus 2. So 5 puts on her memory thingies to go into the memory thingy, which, yes?
Our friend Joseph Malozzi has a thing to say.
Oh, no.
He says it had attempted to link with 3 and 4 and was unsuccessful, but successful with 2 because of the nanites in her system.
Thank you.
Yes.
Joseph Malozzi.
Thank you for the
actually,
correction.
thank you very much. I had a note about that, or a thought about that. So, neural links are like Wi-Fi?
They're like Bluetooth.
They're like Bluetooth.
Very much like
They're like
They
Bluetooth.
were very Bluetooth. You gotta search for the
Okay.
Bluetooth.
I was
That
gonna
was
say.
the best.
They should definitely put a password on that, so not just anyone can put
Yeah.
your neural link.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like
That's very concerning that
Just
anyone could just...
throwing that out there.
Right. What if there was a ship next to them
Yeah.
with an Android?
They're just
You're
driving
like,
by with an Android. They're like, oh, let's
my
grab this
Bluetooth
guy's neural
connects.
link.
All right.
Yeah.
So 5 puts on the
Dangerous.
thingies, it goes in, and of course, evil Android is there to tell that's not what that's used for. Shut up, evil Android. And we have this vulnerable memory of 2, because 2 has, as much as everyone has an interesting backstory in history, 2 has the most interesting backstory because she comes from Dr. Will Wheaton.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So to see her being vulnerable and then to talk about her backstory, loved this real quick scene. Wish it was longer, but also liked seeing 5 kind of overpower her with words.
Yeah.
It was a nice sequence. I want more.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that too, because it's a very like she's a creature of power. Like she's 2 is just basically Wolverine. Like she's gonna win. There's no point in fighting her almost.
Picturing that now.
Yeah, she's just basically Wolverine. And so to have 5, like you said, use her words, it's just very powerful and awesome, and it just shows you that there's another way.
Yeah.
In a way that's not immediately visible to those guys, which I think is also important.
Yeah.
Like she and 1 were these, and I know your feelings on 1, are these catalysts that change them, and I think that's really important for their story. Like without 1 and 5, this would be a completely different crew.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I also like that 5 is coming into her own. Like before, she felt like she was just an add-on to this crew, but now, especially the last 2 episodes, being the quoted character for the titles, it's really been her story and her figuring out who she is and where she fits in with all these people. So I loved that moment when she was like, "I'm not going to be a scared little girl anymore." That's it. That's what I love about her. It was great.
I like that she keeps reminding them of their friends.
Yeah.
Because in their, like, imagine, they're criminals. They're murderers and thieves. And there's this little girl who's like, we're friends. No, we're friends.
Yeah.
Like, be my friend. I'm surprised no one punched her. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so...
Who of the 3 would you have had punch her?
Oh, 3, obviously.
3? Okay.
Because he's the a-hole.
I just don't. I just can't. He's the one that I would imagine is least likely of the 3 to punch her.
I
Why?
agree.
Because he has a
soft spot for women.
Yeah.
He has a very clear and obvious soft spot for women.
Yeah, I imagine it being Rio. Just like a backhand being like, quiet, I don't have time for your stuff.
Yeah.
With his snarky smile.
Yeah. Slack.
This is great. It's great. It's a great face.
Someone make a gif of that.
Okay. All right, girls.
Okay.
Okay.
Girl. So we end with them back to our new normal. So they can download their old memories and retain the new ones. But will that make them different people? Yeah. Obviously. Like, I really wanted them to have both the memories, but it's true. They will lose, they will lose the new people of who they are that are turning over a new leaf.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you think so? I mean, all right. Assume that because we as human beings have a full view of our own history, who we once were, what we've always done. And at a certain point, yes, there are turning points at which we go, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Right.
And so I feel like having those memories, though it changed them into different people at that moment, it wouldn't change who they are now. Because it would be the same as me looking back at my time in college and being like, man, I was dumb. I guess I have to be dumb now.
So I disagree because I feel like what happens is you were dumb in college. That's not true, actually. So you look back at this time when you were doing something that you don't want to do anymore. And if you now are trying to be a better person and you do something that makes you slip back into that, whereas they don't know about that and they won't slip back into it because they have a new outlook. It's like they get to start over. That said, I think we would have a third person, right? So like they have old them, new them, and I think if they had all the memories, they would be a third person.
Yeah.
And that is a whole different thing that
Yeah.
I might want to see.
I would love
Especially
that.
because we're also missing... See, I need my timeline. We're missing 10 months? 12 months? We're missing a certain amount of months. We're missing months, guys.
There's time not there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any thoughts on the new normal?
Oh, me? I mean, it's pretty much the same thing that you guys are kind of saying about it, in that I feel like there are a lot of moments where they'll talk about, oh gosh, in this episode specifically, 3 says something like, do you think we lost people before? And it's like, do you think we ever let it phase us? Probably not. We probably plowed right through it. And he says that very angrily, like, like I would have hated to had to have been, or to be that, or I hate being that person,
Yeah.
I guess. And so I think that, you're right. The Venn diagram is going to separate and we're going to get this third person. But I think it's so interesting. And I think that I also disagree with you in that there's no way that they could be the same person after having, like, assimilated themselves. You know what I mean? It's new information.
Yeah.
So, even if, they're able to forgive themselves for things they did in the past or whatever, it still colors who they are now, especially the way that they cared about things or refused to care about things in the future. I think if we knew how many women 3 has buried, you know what I mean? Like, we would probably have a much darker and a much less caring 3, or willing to care.
I assume it's 15.
15. Calling it.
Okay.
Well,
Calling it right now.
Let's talk about 3's lockbox that we get. So the first time we see it, he has that thing that looks like a Walkman, but it's not a Walkman. On further inspection, I think it's a smaller box.
Yeah, it's like a little carrying case.
Yeah.
Whatever, it looks like a
He also
Walkman.
says it's one of his, so he has many of these.
Yeah. There's a spaceship toy, and then he turns on a beacon. Tauri.
It's bacon!
It's not bacon. Tauri would not shut up about this.
What? Oh, it's so good.
It's a beacon. Tauri thinks of the Beggin' Strips commercial?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every
I
time.
got that that's what that was.
Okay. All right, we're done with that.
Yep.
All right, so early on in the episode, we have this real quick discussion with 2 and 3 talking about 1, but they're talking about Derek. So 2 tells 3 that he was the prime suspect in 1's wife's murder. And they talk about what are we going to do about 1's death. And then we get this whole discussion about the different companies. Tauri, did you write all the companies down? Because
Yes.
I've got Trugot,
Trogot.
whatevs.
Mika.
Mika.
Ferris. And then wasn't there was one more that was introduced this week or recently.
Have we
which-
mentioned the Galactic Authority?
Oh, it's in
Then
the,
that's the government.
it's in the,
It's the police.
next week preview.
Okay. So,
Also,
yeah.
my friend Malozzi says, "Remember that spaceship toy? Next episode."
Oh! I remember the way he smirked at 5, the way he's like, I'm playing with a toy.
Yeah.
You're a kid. It was a really funny moment.
Yes. Agreed. So, yeah, they're going to do something about Derek Moss's death.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, Corso's coming
Yeah,
back.
and then when the beacon is turned on, we see a very quick clip of someone saying, "You're not going to believe this. We just got a signal from a subspace transponder," which to me sounds like, "You're not going to believe this. We just got a sciencey, nerd, sciencey." Right? That's what it was?
Yes.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
100%.
You all heard that?
Yeah.
All right. Because there's so much in the promo and based on what we saw this week, I think it might be time to head into predictions. Where's the music?
Predictions?
Predictions. There it is.
And now,
Ah!
AfterBuzz
Flashy lights. Predictions. Okay. In the promo for next week, we see the man from the end of the episode to 3, and he says, "Welcome back, son." What? Okay. Eric's says to 3, "You don't trust me or Nix, but you got no problem keeping a cop on board. As long as he's on the ship, you're all asking for a world of hurt." Oh, that's right. 6 is
He's in cryosleep.
yeah. 6 is there. Interesting that Eric's points out that you don't trust me or Nix does not include Devin. We should not be trusting Devin.
Such a nice guy, though. Such a nice boy.
Okay.
I have a bad feeling, too.
Some woman to 2 says that the distinct building she's looking for is is Dwarf Star Technology headquarters on Terra Prime. Great. Real helpful.
Cool.
Is that building the building that was in the background of the scene with 2 and 5 in the memory? Did it?
Could've been.
Is that? Am I the only one that may think that? Taking it to the chat.
Yeah.
Is that building in the drawing a building that was in the background in that scene with 2 and 5 in 2's memory?
Interesting.
Interesting.
Let us
indeed.
know.
Yes.
These are the questions.
These are questions.
So yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen?
Well, I think that Eric's is right. We should not be trusting him or Nix or Devin. That's all. I don't think the whole cop part. Whatevs. I really wish they would have taken Anders on board too. The other Galactic Authority guy.
Yeah.
I
Instead
wanted
of
both.
murdering him.
What? Based
Well-
on how 6 is,
Yeah, we can assume he's not dead.
we can assume he might not be dead.
Right. That's fair.
I'd like to see Anders again.
I was really
Yeah.
worried
Yeah,
this
I would.
episode
Yes.
for when 3 wanted to go down and visit Sarah, because I was worried that if he were to find 6 and not know him, he would just space him.
Good point.
Interesting.
He'd just be like, Meep. And so now I'm still a little worried about that, because, like, the people in power now don't remember 6. Like, only 5 does, really.
The
Well-
people in power.
Well, I just mean that they're still... They don't have their memories?
no, they have the
yeah.
memories
Oh, they got
back.
them
Yeah.
back?
Yeah, of course they did.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to pay attention, girl.
I'm sorry.
He was getting pizza rolls.
Okay.
That's the best excuse.
Yeah, no. All of the new memories that they've made since they woke up from
But
the
I guess
time
what I
that,
meant
yes.
was that I'm worried now that they're, like, collected memories all together, will still lead them to, like, you betrayed us. Like, we're still going to space you. Because they still kind of have an axe to grind with him. Like, he put them in jail.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'd like to see... First off, I'd like to see Six up and about.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I miss
his tank tops. You miss his tank tops.
Thank you.
We all miss his tank tops.
As much as I'm mad at Roger, I have forgiven him now, and he is welcome back onto the ship because I would like to see them deal with this.
Yeah.
Did anyone answer my question in the chat about the building? Everyone's like, what are you talking about?
No, I mean, people are mostly talking about not trusting Nyx. They want her backstory.
I'm so sad because we ship her with 2.
Yeah.
We trusted her way too fast.
Maybe. I mean, I think that she could also have been basically an undercover.
You think she's working for IFA?
Well, I was thinking she was a GA plant. And which would explain why she's so good at, like, hand-to-hand combat. She has a good knowledge of the inner workings of the prison. Like, I think that though that storyline has kind of been done and that we already had Six be a plant, I think that it would be a good thing for her character to be this person who escaped with the Raza and are keeping tabs on them for the GA.
I'll say that the GA storyline is not done.
Yeah, and in fact, I wanted to say also that they talk about, like, oh, you got out of Galactica lockup. They're not going to let that go.
Right.
They mention that that's not a thing that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of am interested, like, they're basically the greatest criminals in the galaxy.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some legendary bounty hunters and stuff like that they're going to get thrown at them pretty soon here. So I'm waiting for their Boba Fett, basically, to show up.
Bounty hunters in space.
Interesting.
It's like there's a show called Killjoys about that.
What?
2 things.
Oh.
Before you expel your thought. Sorry.
Okay, go.
1. Malozzi says his girlfriend finds you too forgiving. 2.
Wait, what?
Malozzi's girlfriend finds you too forgiving. 2.
Oh.
It's the same building.
Whoa!
I was right. Wait, does Malozzi confirm?
Malozzi confirms.
Malozzi.
I paid attention.
Thank you for confirming, Mr. Malozzi.
Wait, I'm too forgiving and I'm too suspicious? You two, girl, you two need to work this out. Wait, what was my thought? Oh, my thought was Galactic Authority.
Yes.
I know for a fact that we are not done with that storyline. Based on announcements of casting, Chris Holden Reed, another Lost Girl alum, is going to be on this season as a Galactic Authority something or other. General, Admiral, some title. He says it a lot in
General.
Yeah, a General Admiral.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yep. So we're not done with that storyline for sure.
It's coming back.
I also think we need to deal with Dr. Will Wheaton. So prediction that Dr. Will Wheaton is in the Dwarf Star Technology headquarters, which is the tall building, on Terra Prime. Dr. Will Wheaton.
Interesting.
And if we're lucky, we'll see more Wendy's.
Just an army of Wendy's at one point.
I had a dream like that once.
Burger place?
Just a whole platoon.
Nice.
Yeah.
What the beacon? Stop it. I think we're gonna see Boone's father talking to 3, and I feel like he's gonna be a jerk and a bad guy, and it's just gonna be a 1 episode, not a problem.
Do you think it's going to be the kind of thing where he's so much of a jerk that we're then like, oh, well, 3's fine now. Now he's not even a jerk.
Yes.
He is great by
I like
comparison.
that.
I actually hope that this meeting with his father sparks him to try to get his old memories back. Because 3 is coming across a lot of things from his past. He, more than anybody, is coming across a lot of people who, want to kill him and who he wronged, but also, like, very tragic things like Sarah and his father, and he doesn't really know how to deal with them. So I'm hoping that this kind of sparks him to go back, get his memories, and we have to deal with the fallout of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that. Any final predictions? Because I have an announcement to make. So, final predictions.
Got
Oh,
anything?
man. Beyond all of the things that we've covered,
Yes,
I
beyond
just
all that.
I want to throw out that Three's always popping those pills. Maybe that's going to come up later. Because I loved just so much how he's just like, hey, you have a headache? Throw some pills. Just have these generic blue pills. Just have them.
Sometimes you gotta take generic
So just
blue pills.
take these pills.
I would like
space pills.
Yes, space pills. Yeah.
Also, maybe they'll explain why everyone in space was once camping, and they all have those metal camping cups that they drink from only.
Girl.
Everyone was camping, and then they had to go.
Okay.
All right.
Girl.
Those are my predictions.
That's a great-
Those things will be explained.
Goes great.
Okay.
Final predictions?
Nope, got nothing.
Super important big announcement for those who are unaware. San Diego Comic-Con is this week. If you're also unaware, the cast of Dark Matter will be there, and I will be speaking with them. If you have questions for the cast of Dark Matter, Roger will not be there, probably because he knows that I will backhand him. He's not going to be there.
He knows.
But I know that 2, 3, 5, Nyx. I think that's it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if 4 is going to be there. If you have questions, you best send them to me. And if you're in San Diego, yeah, there's a threat. And if you're in San Diego, you best come to the fan meetup. That's right, we're having an AfterBuzz meetup. You should be there. I tweeted it out. It is also on the AfterBuzz TV Instagram. San Diego Comic-Con fan meetup. Come say hello. You have to.
Yes.
It's a requirement.
Where's it going to be?
It's going to be at 1919 in San Diego. That is
Awesome.
the name of the place. Look it up. Tari, where can people keep up with you throughout the week? Because you guys will be here next week, just the two of you doing the show.
Will.
True.
Until then, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TauriJ. It's TauriJay.
And Andrew.
And you can also find me on Twitter at Andrew Mena and on Instagram at the Andrew Mena.
Yay!
Yeah!
And you'll see both of them back here next week for Dark Matter. I will be busy in San Diego with the cast of Dark Matter. You can keep up with me and everything going on in San Diego Comic-Con and everything else I do at Yael Tygiel. That's YaelTygiel. And thank you for joining us. Make sure you comment on YouTube and the iTunes and the Twitters and the words.
Yep.
And you'll see them next week for more Dark Matter.
Hooray!
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.